Today we're on lesson 20 of unit 10, word problems leading to rational equations. We'll be covering pages 340 to 342. You want to have your calculator highlighted and some colored pens might be helpful. Rate of work is that part of a task that is completed in 1 unit of time. If a mason can build a wall in 12 hours, then in 1 hour the mason can build 1/12 of a wall. The mason's rate of work is 1/12 of the wall each hour. If an apprentice can build the wall in X hours, the rate of work for the apprentice is 1/X of the wall each hour. In solving work problems, the goal is to determine the time it takes to complete a task. The basic equation that is used to solve a work problem is rate of work times time equals part of task completed. So rate times time equals part of task completed. Rate times time equals part of task. Another formula you have to memorize. For example, if a pump can fill an oil tank in 5 hours, then in 2 hours the pump will fill rate. If it fills the oil tank in 5 hours, then the rate is 1/5 of a tank per hour, times time, 2 hours, is equal to 2/5 of the tank. In T hours, the pump will fill 1/5 times T, or T/5 of the tank. Our first example, a mason can build a wall in 10 hours. So the mason's rate of work is 1/10 of the wall each hour. An apprentice can build a wall in 15 hours. So the apprentice's rate of work is 1/15 of the wall each hour. How long will it take them to build a wall if they work together? Let T be the unknown time to build a wall working together. So we multiply. 1/10 times T is T over 10, and 1/15 times T is T over 15. Determine how the parts of the task completed are related. Use the fact that the sum of the parts of the task completed must equal 1, the completed task. So in other words, we want to take the mason plus the apprentice working together. Mason plus apprentice working together will complete one full task. So add these. T over 10 plus T over 15 equals 1. So we have an equation that contains fractions. Let's put that in parentheses and multiply by the least common denominator, which for 10 and 15 would be 30. So multiplying each term by 30. T over 10 times 30 over 1. 10 goes into 33 times, so we're left with 3T. And 15 into 30 twice, 2T. And 1 times 30 is 30. We have 5T is equal to 30. Dividing by 5, our time equals 6. So 6 hours working together. Our second example, an electrician requires 12 hours to wire a house. Stop right there. The electrician's rate is 1/12 of a house each hour. The electrician's helper can wire a house in 16 hours. So the helper's rate is 1/16 of the house each hour. After working alone on one job for 4 hours, the electrician quits. So he spent 4 hours on the job, and the helper completes the task. How long does it take the helper to finish wiring the house? We'll use T for time. Now let's multiply across, because rate times time equals part of task completed. 1/12 times 4 is 4/12. Or you can reduce that to 1/3. 1/16 times T is T/16. Now adding these parts, 1/3 plus T/16 would equal 1 completed task. The least common denominator of 3 and 16 is 48. So multiply the entire equation by 48. 1/3 times 48 is 16. And T/16 times 48, 16 goes into 48 3 times. Leaves us with 3T equals 48. Don't forget to multiply the 1 on the other side on the right hand side of our equation by 48. Subtract 16. 3T equals 32. And divide by 3. T equals 32 thirds, or let's say that's 10 2/3 hours. Be an answer, or 2/3 of an hour is 40 minutes. So 10 hours, 40 minutes. Example 3, you can paint a room in 8 hours. Stop there. So your rate is 1/8 of a room each hour. Working together, you and your friend can paint the room in just 5 hours. Let T be the time in hours your friend would take to paint the room when working alone. So our friend's rate would be 1/T. Now they're working for 5 hours, so let's multiply. 1/8 times 5 is 5/8, and 1/T times 5 is 5/T. Explain what the sum of the expressions represent in the last column. The sum of the expressions equals 1 whole completed task. So 1/T. Okay, so we take our 5/8 plus 5/T equals 1. Let's multiply every term here by the least common denominator of 8T. 8T times 5/8, 8's divide out, 5T. 8T times 5/T, T's divide out, 40. And 8T times 1, 8T. Subtract 5T from both sides, 40 equals 3T. And divide by 3, T equals 40/3, which goes in 13 times, so 13 1/3 hours. 13 1/3 hours. Is your friend's time it would take to paint the room while working alone. So far in your, so now this is switching. So those were work problems. Now, example 4, so far in your baseball season you have 12 hits out of 60 times at bat. Find the number of consecutive hits you need to raise your batting average to .360 by solving the equation. So the X here is the number of additional consecutive hits. That's X. So .360 is equal to the 12 hits you already have plus the number of consecutive hits divided by your number of times at bat, which has been 60, plus the number of X times you're going to be at bat. Cross multiply here, putting that over 1, and this is where the calculator is handy. 12 plus X times 1 is 12 plus X, and .360 times 60 is 2.16. No, I have an extra decimal point. It's 21.6. And .360 times X, 0.36X. Let's get our X terms together. Now, this being smaller, I would subtract that from each side. And I would bring the 12 over to the other side in the same step. 0.64X equals 9.6. Take 9.6 divided by 0.64 and X equals 15. Example 5, you have taken 5 quizzes in your history class and your average score is 83 points. You think you can score 95 points on each remaining quiz. How many quizzes do you need to take to raise your average quiz score to 90? You know that average is equal to the sum of the parts divided by the total number. So let's X equal each remaining quiz. X equals remaining quizzes. We've already taken 5 and the average is 83. So let's take our 5 times 83 plus, I think we can score 95 on the remaining quizzes. X times 95 divided by 5 plus X equals our new average of 90. Over 1, cross multiply. 5 times 90, 450, plus 90x equals 5 times 83, 415, plus 95x. Solving for x, subtract 90x, subtract 415, divide by 5, x equals 7. Our next example, consider the rational equation 1 over capital R equals 1 over x plus 1 over y. Solve this equation for r and simplify. Well, let's get rid of these fractions here and multiply by the least common denominator, which is rxy. 1 over r times rxy, r's divide out, we're left with xy. 1 over x times rxy, x's divide out, ry. 1 over y times rxy, y's divide out, rx. And we want to solve this for r. Okay, so at least our two terms that contain r are on the same side. Let's factor out r. And we have r times y plus x, which is the same as x plus y. And now divide. So r equals xy divided by y plus x. And that cannot be simplified. Solve this equation for y and simplify. Well, I'm still going to take the original equation and get rid of the denominators, the fractions, multiply by rxy. So I have the same as above, and that I have xy equals ry plus rx. And now we want to solve for y. So I'll subtract ry and have xy minus ry equals rx. Factor out y. And divide by x minus r. So y equals rx divided by x minus r. And this does not simplify. Number 7, Anne and Marie play tennis every weekend. So far, Anne has won 12 out of 20 matches. How many matches will Anne have to win in a row to improve her winning percentage to 75%? Okay, so we'll take our 12, there's already won 12, plus how many more, divided by the 20 matches, plus the number more, so that we raise her average to 0.75. Cross multiply, 12 plus x equals 0.75 times 20 is 15 plus 0.75x. Subtract 0.75, and in the same step subtract 12, and got my x there. 3 divided by 0.25 is 12. How many matches will Anne have to win in a row to improve her winning percentage to 90%? I already used x for A, so I'll use y for B. So 12 plus y divided by 20 plus y has to equal 0.90. Cross multiply. It's 18. Subtract 12 and subtract 0.90. And 6 divided by 0.10 is 60. So 60. Can Anne reach a winning percentage of 100%? No. She has already lost 8 matches. So she'll never reach 100%. I thank you for your attention.